Today's video is sponsored by Aethon Books. Have you ever wondered while playing Skyrim or other RPGs what the guards are up to when you're not around? Probably not, but maybe you should have. Glenn Redwood has longed to become an adventurer since he was a young boy, focusing every waking moment since he turned 14 on leveling and growing stronger. Answering the challenge of the gods of Luxterra, he has fought monsters to prove himself again and again. He has earned the right to travel the world and protect its people. But the gods have other plans. After they choose Glenn to become a town guard, he is charged with protecting his small town and everyone within. His dreams of traveling the world seem all but impossible. Even so, as he upgrades his new town guard class, Glenn learns that one doesn't need to travel abroad to find challenge, adventure, friendship, and even love. And the people he wants most strongly to protect may have been in his small village all along. Don't miss the start of a new action-packed fantasy-lit RPG adventure with a world inspired by Dungeons & Dragons. Click the link in the description below to discover Town Guard. And now what you're here for. My DM hates it when I show up to sessions without pants. I had always been drawn to unique and unconventional characters in our Dungeons & Dragons games. When our Dungeon Master Samantha informed us that we would be starting a new campaign, I decided on a whimsical, mischievous satyr named Phelan. Phelan was an extraordinary musician, and his magical flute could charm even the most hardened of hearts. Although he was undoubtedly a valuable member of the party, he had one quirk that never failed to draw attention. He refused to wear pants. I thought it would be funny to bring Phelan's eccentricity to life at our gaming sessions, so I arrived at our first session without pants. Instead, I wore a pair of furry leggings to resemble the lower half of a goat, complete with hooves. I thought it would add to the immersive experience, but I quickly learned that my fellow players didn't share my enthusiasm. My friends exchanged glances, clearly uncomfortable with my appearance. Samantha, our DM, tried to hide her surprise, but I could see the worry in her eyes. Maybe you should put some pants on, she suggested hesitantly. But Phelan doesn't wear pants, I protested. It's part of his character. The other players shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Look, said our cleric, Elira, we're all for role-playing and getting into character, but there's a line. I sighed, realizing that my attempt to be immersive had been ill-received. Reluctantly, I agreed to wear pants at the next session. However, I couldn't help but feel that Phelan's essence was being stifled. As the campaign continued, I noticed that my friends were growing more and more annoyed with my insistence on playing Phelan without pants. The complaints reached their peak when we encountered a powerful enemy, and our party was on the brink of defeat. Phelan, in true form, attempted to use his charm and musical prowess to turn the tide of battle. Unfortunately, my dice rolls didn't favor me, and Phelan's pantless performance failed to sway the enemy. Frustration filled the room as our characters faced the consequences of the failed attempt. Maybe if you wore pants, we wouldn't be in this mess, grumbled our rogue, Aramil. Determined to prove that Phelan's pantless nature was an essential aspect of his character, I decided to use our next session as an opportunity to showcase his importance to the party. I came up with a plan that would hopefully make my fellow players see that Phelan's quirks were part of what made him a valuable asset. At the next session, the party found themselves in a lavish masquerade ball, hosted by a mysterious and influential noble. Phelan, being the charismatic musician he was, quickly drew the attention of the guests with his enchanting melodies. As the party began to unfold, it became apparent that the noble had ulterior motives, and the adventurers were in grave danger. Phelan, still pantless, used his charm and musical abilities to sow confusion and chaos among the noble's guards, allowing our party to escape the deadly trap. As we made our way to safety, it became clear to my fellow players that Phelan's unique nature had saved the day. In the following sessions, my friends became more accepting of Phelan's quirks, even if they still found his lack of pants to be odd. Our gaming sessions continued, and Phelan's pantless exploits became a running joke among our group. Although my friends never quite understood my commitment to playing Phelan without pants, they eventually came to appreciate the depth and creativity that he brought to the game. The character's quirks and eccentricities added a layer of humor and unpredictability to our adventures, and soon everyone came to expect the unexpected from Phelan. In one memorable session, our party found itself infiltrating a heavily guarded fortress. To gain access, we needed to secure disguises and blend in with the enemy. Naturally, Phelan's pantless appearance posed a challenge. Thinking quickly, I concocted a plan. Phelan would disguise himself as a foreign dignitary, claiming that his pantless attire was a cultural norm in his homeland. To my surprise, the plan worked flawlessly. Phelan's charm and quick thinking not only got us inside the fortress, but also gained us valuable allies and information along the way. As our campaign progressed, my fellow players began to see the value in embracing unconventional characters and ideas. They started to take more risks with their own characters, incorporating unique traits and quirks that made our gaming sessions even more engaging and memorable. Samantha, our DM, also took notice of the shift in our playstyle. She started to create more challenging and creative scenarios for us to tackle, pushing our characters to grow and adapt in ways we hadn't previously considered. Through it all, Phelan remained at the center of the action, his pantless presence a constant reminder of the importance of thinking outside of the box and embracing the unexpected. Though my friends had initially been resistant to the idea, they eventually came to appreciate the creativity and fun that Phelan's pantless adventures brought to the table. Our Dungeons & Dragons sessions became more than just a game. They were an opportunity for us to explore our imaginations and push the boundaries of what we thought was possible. And though Phelan's lack of pants may have seemed like a small detail, it became a symbol of our group's willingness to embrace the unconventional. As we gathered for one final session, we couldn't help but feel a sense of bittersweet nostalgia. Phelan, the pantless satyr who had once been the source of so much consternation, had become a beloved and integral part of our gaming experience. Here's another story where role-playing is more important than the shirt on your back. It had been a long week, and I was looking forward to losing myself in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. I took a deep breath as I entered the room, savoring the familiar scent of old books, pizza, and the unmistakable odor of camaraderie. Our Dungeon Master Lucas had requested that we really get into the roleplay this time. I was ready. I had spent hours researching my character, a barbarian named Thogar, and was eager to bring him to life. My friends and fellow players had done the same, and we were all eager to get started. As we settled into our seats, I could feel the anticipation in the air. The game began, and we were all quickly engrossed in our characters and the unfolding story. It wasn't long before Thogar found himself in a perilous situation, facing down a horde of goblins. With no other choice, I decided to rage just as my character would. "The shirt comes off," I announced, standing up and tearing my shirt off, just as Thogar would in the heat of battle. My friends seemed momentarily uncomfortable, but soon began laughing along. Lucas, our DM, watched with a mixture of amusement and uncertainty. Then it happened. My first roll of the night was a natural 20. The room had erupted into cheers, and our group of ragtag adventurers was christened the Beef Brigade. We continued to play, our characters growing more and more into their roles as barbarians. The dice seemed to be on our side that night, as we all continued to roll natural 20s. Our gaming sessions quickly turned into a sweaty, boisterous affair, with each of us fully embracing our characters as we charged headlong into danger. The Beef Brigade was truly a force to be reckoned with, but I noticed that Lucas, our DM, seemed increasingly bothered by our success. Despite our attempts to reassure him that our immersion was helping the game, not harming it, he remained skeptical. Determined to prove our point, the Beef Brigade hatched a plan. We would show Lucas that our commitment to our characters was not only entertaining, but also essential to our success. We would tackle one of the most challenging dungeons he could throw at us, relying solely on our barbarian instincts and brute strength. We approached Lucas with our proposal, and after some deliberation he agreed. "All right," he said, "but be prepared for a challenge. I won't hold back." The following week, Lucas presented us with the fabled Dungeon of Gormak the Terrible, a labyrinth of deadly traps and fearsome monsters. The Beef Brigade wasted no time in diving headfirst into the fray. We fought with wild abandon, our barbarian instincts guiding us as we cleaved through our enemies. As we ventured deeper into the dungeon, I could see Lucas watching us with a mix of admiration and disbelief. He had thrown everything he could at us, and still we persevered. The dungeon's final challenge, a fearsome dragon, loomed before us, and we knew that this would be our most difficult battle yet. The room was tense as we faced off against the dragon, each of us channeling our inner barbarian. The battle raged on, with each member of the Beef Brigade taking turns landing devastating blows. As the dragon's health dwindled, Lucas looked more and more impressed. Finally, with one last mighty swing of my axe, Thogar landed the killing blow. The room erupted into cheers as we celebrated our victory, sweaty and exhilarated from the epic battle. As we looked to Lucas, we could see a hint of a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. He looked at us, his eyes full of newfound respect, and said, "You've proven me wrong. Your commitment to your characters and the roleplay truly enhanced the game. The Beef Brigade has earned my admiration." The Beef Brigade had triumphed. Who would have thought that clothes, or more specifically the absence of clothes, would be such a determining factor in roleplay? No, not like that, pervs. Please share your stories of getting so into your character you lost your shirt. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, All Things D&D. Stay tuned for more amazing Dungeons & Dragons content.